Okay, what is up, everyone? Hello. How you doing? Welcome. Today is a momentous occasion. Today's an exciting day. Today's a good one. It's not your normal streaming day. It's not your normal gameplay day for me anyway. Because, ladies and gentlemen, today I am beginning my playthrough of Final Fantasy 15. Now, normally, when I start a game playthrough, yes, it's excitement, especially if it's a game that a game series that I have history with, or a game that's highly anticipated, right? But in particular, the reason why I feel that this game and this playthrough are going to be quite interesting is that, number one, this is a new entry in the Final Fantasy series, a numbered entry. This isn't an expansion, this isn't a semi-sequel, this isn't a spin-off, this is actually an official entry in Final Fantasy, and we don't get these all the time. In fact, for those of you who might remember, way back when, okay, we're talking, only about, I believe it was about a year into my YouTube existence, alright, when I had already gotten some false copyright strikes and things against me on my original Dark Side Filled channel on YouTube. And I was actually nervous about doing a playthrough of Final Fantasy 13 because I had heard that a lot of people were getting just kind of notions or warnings that if you played the game, you were going to get copyright strikes against your YouTube channel. So at that time, being that I was a longtime fan of Final Fantasy, and I definitely wanted to play the most modern Final Fantasy on release, I created an entirely new YouTube channel called Dark Side Phil FFXV or Dark Side Phil Final Fantasy 13. The only purpose of this channel was my Final Fantasy 13 playthrough, and incidentally, the channel ended up being very popular. I believe it had some 20 to 30,000 subscribers, if I remember correctly. Actually, it might have had more than that over time. But initially, I think it had that many. There were people who were watching every video adamantly and going nuts for it. Now, keep in mind, this was back before I ever made any money on YouTube. There were no advertisements on any of these videos whatsoever. It was just me casually playing Final Fantasy 13. And it was good because it was something that I was able to do legit and kind of uncensored. Meaning, it wasn't that I was kissing the game's ass, and it wasn't that I was hating on the game. It was kind of a unique combination, because I had played Final Fantasies 1 through 8, right? And so I kind of had that background, and I also had played Final Fantasy 12. I had never played and 11. At that point, I hadn't played 10. Well, I played a little bit of 10, and I hadn't played, any of the more modern stuff, so it was cool to see what they were doing with the series, alright? And I had a lot of fun covering this game, even though, I'll be honest, I remember there were things that I liked about the game and things that I absolutely hated about the game, okay? The gameplay was kind of okay, the graphics were amazing, the production values were amazing, but the characters were annoying. The story was confusing. Quite honestly, the first, 15 hours of gameplay were far too linear for what I was expecting from a Final Fantasy game, and then when the game opened up, it became incredibly better. So, ultimately, Final Fantasy 13 was a mixed bag for me. Now, we all know what happened after that. What was supposed to happen was that there was supposed to be a trilogy of games based in the Final Fantasy 13 universe. You were supposed to have the base role-playing game. There was supposed to be a versus game where people were fighting each other, almost like a fighting game. And there was supposed to be a third game. Final Fantasy 15, incidentally, is one of those games that was in development that long ago. That's how long Final Fantasy 15 has actually been in development. Okay? So that's incredibly long. I mean, I played that game, 2009? Final Fantasy 13? So it's 7 years later, but it's like 10 years of game development for this game. And of course, insane hype all over the internet. Everyone's super excited. The game's going to be great. The graphics are amazing. Everyone's watching these trailers. We've played multiple demos for the thing. And ultimately, it's in the eye of the beholder, now that the game's out, what exactly it's going to be. Now, I've heard lots of positives. Alright? And I've heard lots of negatives. I've heard it's kind of a mixed bag. I've heard that there's some great stuff and some shit stuff in this game. You know what? I think that's par for the course for modern Final Fantasy. You know, it's not like it used to be back in the day in the 1990s when, you know, every Final Fantasy game you played would have this epic story with characters with cool backstories and they weren't annoying as fuck. And, you know, I mean, of course, back then, the games were all 2D, you know, pixelated. But, hey, at least the game, you know, you knew you were getting some kind of an epic story with a lot of development and stuff. In this day and age, you don't know, you're going to get a mixed bag. You might just get cheesy Japanese humor paired in with annoying characters and stupid attempts at, you know, comic relief, paired in with an overly brooding plot line. And, you know, that's basically what Final Fantasy 13 was. It was just a weird mishmash of things smashed together that didn't really form much of a coherent whole. So I guess we'll see firsthand what this game's going to be. At the very least, what I could say is, at least from what I've seen, the game looks amazing, okay? Looks amazing. I'll put it that way. The visuals look, like, breathtaking from what I've seen. Now, I haven't played the game. Now, watch me boot it up and it runs at 10 frames per second. You know what I mean? We'll see. But it could be one of the best graphical games ever made. And when you really got to think about other games recently that have looked great, a lot of people have been saying, oh, you got to think of games like Uncharted 4 or The Order 1886, right? Okay, fair enough. Those games looked really good. But what you need to realize is that those games were very linear, right? Those games didn't have an open world. Those games didn't have tons of side content to them, right? This game may be the biggest open world game to look as beautiful as it does. But again, I'll judge for it once I finally, once I finally get a chance to delve into it. Now, here's the deal for today. And then I'm going to tell you what's going on with Twitch TV, because there's a lot of confusion. Even today, right now in the stream chat, people are asking, what's going on? Why is Phil on YouTube? What's happening with Twitch? All right, so I'm going to clarify all of this for everyone, so there's no confusion regarding the future of me and streaming and all of that, okay? Alright. So here you go. Here's the deal, everybody. Right now, we're streaming on YouTube still. Streaming on DSPGaming. If you can't tell, duh. So either you're watching this on my website, thekingofhate.com, or you're watching this on DSPGaming, one or the other. So obviously you know I'm still streaming on YouTube, alright? Right now, where I am in the process of getting back to Twitch is very simple. On my end, everything is completed. First of all, I'm using new streaming software. It allows me to stream at the quality that is the limitation for Twitch, while I can still record at the quality I want to record at for YouTube. Okay? So in that regard, my hardware and all of my software, everything is set up ready to go. On Twitch's side, they've sent me a new partnership contract. They sent me a tax form. They sent me everything. I filled all of that out as of last night, and I sent it back to them. I actually sent it directly to the head of the partnership program over there, and I said to him, listen, the sooner you approve all this, the better. You know, the moment that you tell me the advertisements are enabled and the sub buttons enabled, I will start streaming on Twitch, because this week is Final Fantasy 15. This is a big game. I know people are excited to see me play it. They want to see me cover this brand new release. And, you know, it would make sense sooner rather than later. The earlier you turn it on, the earlier we both make money, basically. And the head of partnerships did write me back last night. And he said, the situation is understood. Thanks for, you know, doing everything quickly on your end. I'll do what I can. He said, typically it takes 2 to 3 business days to process the application and get it enabled for your channel. But we'll do everything that we possibly can on our end to speed up the process, all right? So what it's sounding like to me is probably at the earliest tomorrow, my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/DarksidePhil, will probably have this stuff all up and working. If worst case scenario, maybe Thursday or Friday, alright? But we'll see, you know, we'll see what happens. It could be earlier. I could be streaming right now, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the stream, I could get an email from them saying it's enabled, it's good to go. And if that's the case, maybe tonight, I'll stream on Twitch. We'll see. You know, we'll play it by ear. We'll see what happens. I know people are eager for me to go back to Twitch. They love the Twitch chat over my custom chat that I've been using for 2 years. And they like the fact that they know there'll be a natural influx of viewers to come watch me play games over there. Even though, I'll be honest, when I streamed on Twitch for 2 years, that never ever turned into anything profitable for me. It just didn't. Now, maybe things are different. A lot of people have been saying that Twitch has changed, that the ads on Twitch are a lot more profitable now because they've got all this stuff going on that makes it better, and it's just an overall better environment and a better thing than it was 2 years ago, okay? Okay, good. I hope it's true. If it's true, I'm happy with that. All right. I am kind of biting the bullet here. There's a few things that I really have issue with Twitch, but because my viewers and fans have overwhelmingly requested for the past 2 years that I go back, and since I finally have the technical capability to do so, I'm going to do so this week. Okay? Fair enough? Fair enough, everybody. So there you have it. When I get an update on exactly what's happening with this, I will let everyone know. All right? And we'll go from there. All right? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I have good news for you sooner rather than later. All right? So, now let's talk about this week's schedule, and then we'll get started. All right? So, today, 2 streams of Final Fantasy 15. You know, a lot of people were flipping out last night. Phil, why aren't you playing it as soon as it unlocks at 9 p.m.? And I said, are you aware that I just did a over 7.5 hour long gameplay stream marathon? Do you really think I'm in any condition now to start up playing Final Fantasy after that? Especially because those videos had to upload. There was no way I could have done another stream. It just wouldn't have happened. So, today, 2 gameplay streams. All right? 2 gameplay streams. One right now, obviously. One later tonight at 7 p.m. Right now, it looks like it'll be, 7 p.m. Pacific time. I should specify that so everyone understands their actual time. Right now, it's going to be on YouTube. If things change, then it'll go over to Twitch. We'll see what happens. But right now, it's looking like it's still going to be on YouTube. Tomorrow, I'm also planning on probably doing 2 gameplay streams. All right? But now, while the hype is still built for the game, okay? While everyone's still excited for it. But as I've said, all right, as I've said, I just want to clarify this. Once stream interest dies out, that's when I'm going to stop streaming the game. Because I already made a commitment. I made a commitment 2 weeks ago to my viewers, listening to them again, direct feedback from the viewers, to stream less. They're saying, it's okay to stream a premiere. It's okay to maybe stream a couple times after that if there's still hype and stuff behind the game. But don't stream every day. Don't stream all day. Because, especially when you're doing a long, ongoing style playthrough, there's really no benefit. It's not like I'm constantly going to be interacting with stream chat, because I'm not. This is an ongoing playthrough primarily for YouTube. Let's face it. All right. And, most people, after, let's say, 2 days. So after 2 days, I'm over 10 hours into the game. How many people will have actually watched every moment of that 10 hours, right? Who's going to be caught up? Probably about, what, 10, 20% of my viewership, if that. So, of course, if I continue to stream, unless people want to be spoiled on parts of the game they haven't seen yet, of course they're not going to tune into the live streams, right? So it makes sense for me to continue to play offline so people can follow at their own pace and just upload the videos that way, all right? So there you have it. That's kind of the deal. That's how it's going to happen. I'll be streaming today, probably tomorrow, and then we'll play it by ear. Listen, if there's still a lot of interest, if people are still coming to watch, I have no problem continuing streaming, but I'm certainly not going to set it up and work. I mean, look right now. I'm not even starting gaming yet. It's past 12:30. On a day when I'm not live streaming, I could start recording early, much earlier. 11:45 sometimes I was in here, I was recording, because I didn't have to do all this setup and everything. So it is what it is. We'll see what happens. We'll play it by ear. We'll go from there. All right? All right. Now, Final Fantasy pretty much all week until I get burnt out. So today, definitely Final Fantasy all day. Tomorrow, definitely Final Fantasy all day long. We'll see what happens later in the week. Thursday, Friday. Let's see. Am I starting to get bored? Or maybe I'm not bored, but maybe I'm starting to get burnt out and I don't necessarily want to do full days of Final Fantasy anymore, right? What I can do to break it up is I can have a session. Okay, I'm going to do Pokemon today. So I'll do some Final Fantasy and then I'll balance that with a stream of, a session, of Pokemon Moon, all right? And that's kind of what I want to do for the week. Focus on Final Fantasy, but once it starts to get a little bit overwhelming or a little bit too much to bear, that every day is all Final Fantasy, I'll mix in a little bit of Pokemon Moon, especially for those who have been following that playthrough all along. I don't want that to fall by the wayside and then feel left out, all right? Now, this is all well and good until next week. Next week, we've got 2 other new game releases, The Last Guardian and Dead Rising 4. Now, being that by then, I probably will definitely be on Twitch, there's potential that streaming new releases like that on Twitch on launch could be pretty interesting to see how many people show up, okay? So, more than likely what's going to happen is this whole week will be a focus on Final Fantasy, and we'll see how far I get. Next week, we may break it up to probably focus on those games, all right? And then it'll end up being a balance of everything until the end of the year. Because the bottom line is there's no new stuff until... There's one new game outside of those by the end of the year, and it's The Walking Dead Season 3, which is only going to be one episode anyway, which is going to be, what, a couple hours? So I have till the end of December, or even into January, to keep playing all of these games that are out and balance them and finish off the playthroughs and review them. So that's a good thing. All right? That's a great thing. I'm glad that, luckily, I was able to stay on top of most of the stuff that I was doing for this gaming season, right? I was able to finish up Watch Dogs 2. That's not lingering anymore. I was able to finish up Dishonored 2 in a single weekend. That's not lingering. I covered all the first-person shooter games. The only lingering thing there is I didn't play Infinite Warfare Zombies, and guess what? Like, no one cares. I mean, I thought for sure because I had covered Infinite Warfare and I hadn't done the zombies, people would be angry. Nope. No one's, like, screaming at me. Nothing. No one cares. So, alright. Whatever. I don't really care about it either then. If you don't care about it, I don't care about it. I'll play the new stuff. I'm more excited for the new stuff anyway, okay? So yeah. So there you go. Now, the one other thing I want to throw out there, and then we'll get started. We're nearing the end of the year, and that traditionally means my year-end series, okay? Excuse me. Now, I need your help. Because here's the deal. Today I'm starting Final Fantasy. I'm still playing Pokemon. 2 new games next week. I need you guys and gals to nominate what you feel are the funniest moments from games that I've played in the past couple of months. People have been nominating these moments all year long on my forums, thekingofhate.com. And I really need you guys to nominate as well. Because the thing is, not a lot of people have been nominating stuff. And right around the corner in about a week or two, I'm going to be putting up a poll on my forums where people are going to vote on what they felt were the funniest moments, but we need nominations in order to make it into a poll, okay? So as you're watching today, as you're watching my videos on YouTube, as you see things that are funny, please go to the kingofhate.com forums. It's actually under the general section. There's a thread there that's been sticky all year that people have been adding to. Please keep adding with the moments that you feel are the funniest, and within a couple weeks here, the poll will be live on my forums where you can vote. And then that'll turn into a fun year-end series, okay? All right, real quick, everyone. Just a couple quick, very quick plugs, and then we're going to get started. All right, so actually what I will do, I'll stop this slideshow that you've been watching from running, something new that I tried today. First off, real quick, Loot Crate. I have a discount code as well as a referral link. If you go to lootcrate.com/darksidephil and then you select any new Loot Crate subscription and use the discount code SAVEME10DSP, that's SAVEME10DSP, you save 10% and I get referral credit for it. Please consider it, especially because I've been unboxing some really awesome Loot Crates as of late. You might want to get one for yourself or as a gift for someone. Very shortly, I'll be unboxing the WWE Slam Crate. So you'll get to see what that one's like over on my vlogging channel, The King of Hate Vlogs. Twitter at TheyCallMeDSP. Please follow me there. In fact, it's going to be very important that you follow me there because recently, as you know, there's been a lot of shakeups regarding streaming, regarding where I'm streaming, and following me there is really the only clear way you're going to know daily what I'm doing, especially with this transition to Twitch. You're going to want to know when I'm moving and what times I'm streaming and everything that's going on. So please follow me at TheyCallMeDSP. KO Gaming. It's my edited content channel where I upload heavily edited stuff. It's not, raw gameplay like this at all. I do countdowns, I do montages, but importantly, I do game reviews. That's been my main focus of the channel. I just uploaded my review of Watch Dogs 2, and not surprisingly, people are up in arms about it because I really liked the game because I actually played it, while most people who are being negative about the game never played it. They just watched someone play it for 5 minutes and said they didn't like the tone of it, or they made up some excuse of why they think that it's not as good as everyone's saying it is, which is ridiculous. But anyway, you want to hear a detailed review of Watch Dogs 2, check out KO Gaming. You can find it at youtube.com/KOGaming1. In addition, I've reviewed all of the major new releases that have come out recently, including Titanfall 2, Battlefield 1, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, Mafia 3, Dishonored 2, and more. There's more over there too. So please check it out, and there'll be more reviews of all these games I'm playing right now, and my year-end series are going to be over there this year as well. So please have it over there and subscribe. Patreon. Now, this is very important, ladies and gentlemen. Today is November 29th. There's only 36 hours left for you to pledge to my Patreon for this month. Number one, if you want to get in on this month's perks, including getting text or verbal thank yous in my videos, getting your questions answered in my Ask the King show, getting a private Q&A video made, any of that stuff, all right, you have to pledge in the next 36 hours. But more importantly is the event for this month, which is the multiplayer event, by which if you pledge $5 or more, you're going to be able to play multiplayer games with me either right after Christmas time or in early January. I'm going to have 2 different sessions that are scheduled out. So you can play games like Battlefield 1, Overwatch, Gears of War 4, Titanfall 2, or either of the Call of Duty games with me. There's going to be voice communication. It's going to be set up sessions that are scheduled out so that it's just patrons and me. The reason that I do it like that is very simple. I used to do these open gameplay sessions of multiplayer. They don't work anymore. Because too many people, number one, too many people want to play with me and they can't get in. And then they get very upset because they've been trying to play a game with me all day and they can't get in because too many people, there's too much demand. And number two, too many trolls. Too many idiots who just want to ruin it for everyone, and they get all the spots, and they're fucking saying stupid shit, and they're not playing the games. So it's a waste of time to do those open sessions. Doing it this way, the closed session for patrons, works wonders. We just did one in the summer, actually. I believe it was, what was it, July? I forget when exactly it was, but when I did it, people loved it. The people who participated said, Phil, you've got to do this again. This is the best multiplayer session in all time that you've been on YouTube that we've ever done. This is so good. You got to do it again because it was such a great opportunity and so much fun to have meaningful gameplay and conversation and, you know, all of that going on with people who all just want to have fun together, right? So please consider it $5 or more pledge by the end of this month. That's 36 hours left to pledge to my Patreon in order to get in on that event. All right? Fair enough? Okay. Get rid of this. All right, and then last but not least, my girlfriend Leanna has her own business called The Black Currant. She sells handmade glycerin soaps and wax tart melts. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. She has been lucky enough to say, oh, Jesus, she scared the shit out of me. She walked in stealthily into my office without saying a word because she's sick right now. But, she had her biggest sales weekend ever. This is her biggest sales month ever. And she had her biggest order ever, all at like around the same time. So it was like a triple success. And right now, I'm just going to warn everyone. If you want to order in time for the holidays, you have to order soon, especially if you do not live in the United States. If you live in the United States, you got a little bit more leeway. Typically, you can order up to, say, 1 to 2 weeks before Christmas and you'll get your order. But if you're international, you got to order soon because of those international shipping times. You know how stuff gets stuck when it goes through customs and all of that. If you're thinking for a cool creative gift for a loved one, for a family member, for your significant other, scented soaps and wax tart melts are the way to go. Check it out. Don't take my word for it. If you check out the site that's on your screen right now, you'll actually see tons of positive customer feedback. In the year and a half she's been in operation, over 600 orders have been placed. It's really awesome. You definitely got to check it out. All right, everybody?
The holiday shipping times are on my main page, too. I put them up there for Europe, Australia, the US, and Canada.
All right. There you have it. Please check it out, everyone. All right. That is it. Thank you for being patient during the pre-stream. It is now time to begin Final Fantasy 15. All right. Sounds good? All right. Here we go.